Here's 680's Richard Southern.
A trip to the gym, the movie theater.
A huge spike in cases due to the Delta variant. Buddy, a week ago you gave us numbers from the end of 2019. That's just a data touch.
Very notable here. The government is going to allow no capacity restrictions for bars or indoor restaurants. You will, though, still have to physically distance. Gyms and movie theaters can open, but with 50% capacity. Indoor religious ceremonies can go ahead with no capacity restrictions, and the capacity limits will also be removed for barbers and salons. And for the first time, Chief Medical Health
fucking stupid. You gave me open milk and you thought I was going to drink it? Are you fucking retarded? Of all the things you spent a year trying to give me parvovirus because you found out I had parvovirus. Oh, we'll test him because he's a lying half-breed nigger lover. So we'll test him. And if he gets it from us, you gave me open. What's in this? This is going straight to a lab in the U.S. An institution of higher learning. It's not going to the local cops. Are you retarded? You U.S. military labs take care of this for me. Are you fucking stupid? You thought I wouldn't notice that?
It is safe that this afternoon, Tory says it's the right thing to do because of lower case counts and higher vaccine rates. He says city staff will review the regulations.
I can't drink it by accident if it's an ice cube.
As quickly as possible.
This is the 680 News. Continue to see lower daily case counts here. Several countries around the world continue to struggle with the Delta. The UK has seen daily infections hit a near 6-month high. Russia reporting almost 26,000 new coronavirus cases.
I'll put off lighting the joint and drinking the coffee.
Netherlands reporting nearly 6,000 new coronavirus cases, up more than 600% from just last week. As we hear from David Rising of the Associated Press, announced new restrictions as well.
In Bangkok, they implemented a number of new
measures. We warned
mask guidelines where you have to wear a mask in public all the time, and they take your temperature as you go into stores, all that sort of thing. But now they've reduced the hours. The public transit's going to be open, introduced an overnight curfew, and other measures.
Australia, South Korea, and Pakistan also struggling to contain a wave of infections, and Cuba has set a daily record with more than 6,000 new cases.
680 News on 537. A horrible discovery in Mississauga. A man was found lying on the sidewalk with critical injuries. He later died. Peel Police homicide detectives are investigating. 680's Mark Douglas has more from the scene.
It was 8:30 in the morning when the 911 call came in for a man running and screaming up the street and later found on the sidewalk surrounded by blood. It happened right here on Gant Crescent. This is near Terry Fox Way. The man was pronounced
Terry Fox Way. Yeah, pussy. Terry Fox Way. I'm gonna make this nigga run all funny and shit.
He's a father in his late 20s. He also did some
guess what?
work around
Terry Fox didn't finish his run either, pussy. He died halfway through too. You're crying because you're the landlord? That don't add up to me.
No information yet about how and why such a violent morning unfolded. In Mississauga, I'm Mark Douglas.
Take some of these popsicle sticks and make frozen yogurt.
The death toll in the Florida condo collapse has risen to 78 after 14 bodies were pulled from the rubble. The mayor of Miami-Dade County says rescue workers have pledged to keep up their search for victims until they clear all debris at the site.
Our search and recovery team continued their efforts throughout the night and today, as always. And
as always, they didn't take a break at all.
With great urgency, as we work 24 hours a day on the
But you've been talking since this happened about how great you are for doing this and how you haven't stopped. We're working so hard. I wouldn't have lifted a finger and anybody alive would have been pulled out by now.
Good food's ready to cook meals and they deliver right to your door. I feel a lot less pressure when I'm barbecuing. How so?
Hey, first question I got for you. Within a half-hour drive where that building is, how many animal shelters are there? Hey, Mr. Sheriff, Mr. Search and Rescue Coordinator, Mr. Volunteer Fireman, you don't think a couple hundred stray dogs? Someone explain something. You cannot control an individual. Hey, get up. Fuck off. I come in the room, go, hey, everybody, come on, get up, come on, we got it. You'll all fucking do it. You don't need to train the dog one-on-one. You start digging through the rubble, and one of them dogs will figure out what you're doing, and the others all start helping too. Hey, we're digging today. We're not in that horrible cage. We're digging today. Who cares how trained the dog is if he can dig? How many fucking misbehaving dogs dig up a yard, the yard they live in? They get punished every time they do it. They get treats when they don't do it. They still dig up the yard. Oh, yeah. We're going to go inside. We've just been shoving stuff everywhere and just smashing shit up. Oh, there was a fire of diesel fuel, we think. How is the diesel fuel under the building? Where's the generator? No, I'd love to know where the generator is. I got to know, because I've seen generators, like locomotive engines, at the top of a building. But the elevator, for some reason, goes to the floor below it. I just don't believe there was that much diesel fuel in the parking garage that could ignite 4 fucking days later, unless somebody had a lighter. I know how to get them down here. I'm going to light this shit up now. It's an act of desperation, and you're going crazy. That's what happened. You want to know how I know? If there's fire, you know what that means? There was air. There wasn't just a pocket of air. There was free-flowing oxygen rolling all the way down to the basement where you said that diesel fuel was. You said the diesel fuel spilled out of the tanks and was all over the basement. Who lit it on fire? Somebody lit it on fire. There were no other sources of ignition. Someone had to manually light it on fire. Well, how did it catch fire then? Diesel fuel is notoriously hard to light. You ever start a diesel engine that's cold in the winter? No, you didn't. You went back inside and waited for spring. And then you fought the fire. We were spraying all sorts of water on this diesel fuel, and I just wouldn't go out. So we sprayed the flame retarded. It's because you're flame retarded. Why would you spray foam on it after you already fucked it up with the water? At that point, you've already drowned whoever couldn't move. The smoke's already killed. You know what water will do? It'll fuck a fire up so it's not burning clean anymore. Now it's producing all sorts of smoke and carbon monoxide. Things can actually get worse. You know what I haven't seen yet? This has been weeks. You know what I haven't seen yet? A picture, a video, anything of equipment pulling stuff off the top. How are you going? We're going to dig through it. We'll be like this dream I had where I'm going to be a superhero and be the president. No, you're not. The president's going to give you the award. No, he's not. Oh, this president? Yeah, because he's Trump's vice president, and you idiots voted him in as president. Hey, we did the same thing here, 2010. Stephen Harper minority government, which means they need to cooperate with other parties to get things done. All you idiots, we're here for marijuana rights, except for you niggers, Indians, and actual sick people. We're going to control the whole system because we're going to be buddies with the government, and they'll give us the licenses because you can't patent the plant. Hey, there's a playlist on here, Euphorbia ex Lomi. It's a plant that is probably the most patented plant in the world. You can't patent the plant. I had to tell the bitch 3 separate occasions, these high-end activist people. On the 3rd occasion, that story stopped going around. You cannot patent the plant. That's why pharmacos are against marijuana. Do you know what the return on investment is for marijuana for a pharmaceutical company? It's 0. It's a negative rate of return. The province loses it. All these companies losing money. No, they got big investors. Yeah. What they call venture capitalist funds out of the Cayman Islands. It's all Coke money. I got $10 million in this account in somebody else's name. I just want you to throw like $1 million here and there, whatever might work. If we get a legit payout back to clean up his money, and that's what drives the stock prices up. And these guys are shiesty. They've been shiesty since day one. And I don't necessarily mean it in a bad way. They know how to play the market. Not time the, I'm going to time the market. You're still calling it the market. You ain't going to time shit. You got to find the one sucker that's bored, and when that price goes up, you sell. They lose $80 million in a year. Say, yeah, $60 million in 3/4 of a year. That's $80 million a year. If I gave you, I'm the prime minister now. They're the premier, both. I'm the premier and the prime minister. You now have a license. You're the only person that can sell weed. If anybody else sells weed, you call us. We will deal with them. We'll take all their money
everything. We'll even put them in jail, all that shit. And you still lost, what did I just say? Like $7 million, like over $1 million a week. You would have made more money just locking the doors for the year. You would have been out like what, on the tens of thousands of dollars for rent. We rented a store and never opened it. We got all this weed sitting here. How do you lose? Like, people have to hand money over. There's all sorts of shit you got to do, ID and stuff, money. And then they go get the stuff. They come back and read you 2 minutes of public service announcements and the missing kids thing off the back of the milk carton because you can't afford milk because you just spent twice the fucking black market price plus sales tax, the standard sales taxes plus marijuana taxes. All right.
They don't like it.
Those are the grapes. Oh, I didn't show you the tomatoes yet.
She said I'ma get that spinach. I be spinning, I'm winning.
50-50, 60-40 odds. This tastes horrible, but I'm gonna try it.
Pain in their heart and their chest. While she said I'ma get that spinach. I be spinning, I'm
it does
winning.
not taste horrible.
They don't like it. Yeah,
It's got that chalky, I just ripened today taste.
I love the rain when it falls, yeah, I'm blessed. Both the fame and the cars and the jets. I had them thinking I was gone to the psych ward. I never let her live the life you would die for. Tell her, oh, I can't save her, I'm the lifeguard. Maybe you can get the deed, but I might charge her. Pull up to the spot, they're like, who is that there? Hands up, give me the loot like a cashier. What you thought, are you dumb? I don't play shit. I killed you when you run with the same clip.
My clip in the same whip. We got blood stains all over the skin. So that plant has adapted to where, even though it looks fully ripe, that one tasted horrible. Yeah, you got to come back to the mother plant again and again, that tree of life, before you find the right ones. So the fruit are very bright green. You may have seen this. What's green? It's blue and yellow mixed together, right? Okay. Then it'll change from green to yellow. What's actually happening, the blue pigment, whatever it may be, is fading. So it goes from green to yellow. And that will stop, and the yellow starts turning to orange, which means red is coming into it, like at the same instant. And apparently, once all the green pigment, blue pigment is gone, and it's just yellow, you can pick them at that point, and they will ripen up. Now, I don't care what they taste like, because I just want the seeds. I've tasted them when they're sweet, perfectly ripe, growing in the right conditions. These are guerrilla gardens I got all over the place. And you people that keep cutting down the grapevines, what are you doing? They're yanking them off and they're hacking at them in pieces, like they're cutting a piece and then cutting a piece and then cutting a piece, and then they get all the way to the bottom and cut the bottom. Like, you could have just cut the bottom. And when you yank grapevines off of concrete or bricks, it takes chunks of the concrete off. Oh yeah. I'll get the grape plant in a minute. No, I swear, people see me picking the grapes, and the next thing they do, they're trying to cut these grapevines down that have been on their property forever. But I laugh because within 6 months, it comes back stronger. It decides, okay, we're going to get torn down like that. We got to get as much growing in as possible, as quickly as possible, because we like this spot. And by the way, plants don't have the option to get up and leave. Like, people get pissed off at plants, weeds and things. It can't get up and leave. It's your fault it's still there.
That spinach, I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. Like you said, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. Yo, versus spot, then I'm leaving unidentified. Just a rental, had to drop it off at Enterprise. Shell casings in the whip, had to check it twice. I think my OGs for that shit, they give good advice. Yeah, this about to be a genocide. These motherfuckers will be dead, but I can never die.
Is anybody else seeing Star Trek TNG cutscenes?
Yeah, we are not the same kind. You gotta pay dues, I already paid twice. Y'all don't make moves, all you do is waste time. I'ma always be woke while you haters stay blind. But you said I'ma get that spinach. I I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest. Fuck his head, I'ma get that spinach. I be sinning, I'm winning. They don't like it, yeah, I bet. I see the pain in their heart and their chest.
Oh, I forgot to copy and paste links. So at Quinty, a scrapyard's getting orders about some fire they had, and some man being charged for harassment. You understand, this is in the middle of fucking nowhere compared to Toronto. Like the big news, it made the internet loaded. Keep it up, keep jamming it up, keep dumping, dump. Come on, do it, like close the tab and change the music and everything. Do it, come on. Mr. Super Pedophile, Mr. Hacker of the Year, gonna fight for the rights of the... Come on, keep it up. This guy is so easy to trigger. If I put my hand over here, that means I'm pressing a bunch of buttons. So he sends a whole bunch of bad data that second, right? Except I didn't press no button. Yeah, so it's fairly apparent. You wanna be me, yeah, but you don't understand me. No, can't you go be someone else? Why can't you go and be yourself? Give me that trace, give me that space, I'm the one in the game, bring that ding, yeah, I'll be your next thing. Can you tell at this point I be falling? All these people be calling, cause I be falling. I be falling with the beat falling. Can you tell I be falling? How did you not know? I really don't give a fuck. I know you don't believe that, but you've been doing this 2 fucking years and I still don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'ma be amazing. Yeah, it'll be so damn amazing. I will get everything. I'ma stay up on my lane. I'ma